Hey there, we're going to take a look at setting up word problems, and actually before we even get to that, we're still translating from math into English into math. So if we're going to let x represent the larger of two numbers and y is the smaller, write an equation for each situation. Now, this is how we write let statements in English. I'm going to show you how we write them in math. It's kind of in English, but it's a shorter version. We write let x be larger and let y be smaller. And I think that you might use smaller number, larger number. You could write it number, but I think when you look at this, it's easier to just pull out which is the larger and which is the smaller than when it's written in sentence form. Alternatively, you could just go like this, and then maybe like this, so that you know what's x and what's y. It's all good. Okay, so now let's take a look here. The sum of the two numbers is -5. So we know sum means adding. We're going to add two numbers, and it's going to be -5, and the two numbers are, of course, x and y. So x plus y equals -5. The difference between the larger and the smaller is 12. So we know is 12 is this, and then difference is minus, and then we have larger, which is x, minus smaller, which is y. So you really need to dissect this and really cut it down. Like, this is an important word, this is, this is, this is, this. These are all important words when you're writing and translating from English into math. 3 times the smaller number. So which one's smaller again? Y. So 3 times y, 3 times y subtracted from, so we have to subtract that from something, twice the larger, gives a result of 9. Okay, remember when you're subtracting from, I mean to cross that out, that was more of an underline. That is subtracted from something ahead of it. Okay, now let's take a look at this one. The sum of half the larger, so that we're going to sum two things, and it's going to equal 0, right? So we're going to take half of the larger, and we're going to take 1/3 of the smaller, and that equals 0. Now here I just want to point something out. This times this is, of course, this. But when you multiply two things, you can also have, and you know that this is really over 1, you can also write it like this: x times 1 is x over 2. So these are equal. And it's important that you know that, because sometimes you'll be given this and you'll be asked, what's the coefficient or the number in front of x? And you need to be able to separate this x from this 1 over 2 and see that the coefficient of x is 1/2.